Good morning, everyone. Welcome along to this morning's BCP Licensing Subcommittee. I'm Councillor Kelsey, and as the Vice Chair of the Licensing Board, I will be running the first part of this meeting. The first part of this meeting is to elect a chairman. Could I have nominations for chair, please?
I nominate yourself, Councillor Kelsey.
Thank you, Councillor Bagwell.
I'd have to second that, Councillor Kelsey.
Thank you, Councillor Burton. Therefore, as elected chairman, I will now continue with the meeting. Do we have any apologies, please?
Cheers.
Yes, apologies for absence received from Councillor Decent and Councillor Judy Butt. Thank you.
And declarations of interest? Any declarations of interest, councillors?
No.
Not for me.
None received, thank you. And we have a protocol for public speaking. Please note that a revised protocol for virtual meetings has been circulated with the agenda sheet. I will firstly go through housekeeping. Would you wish to do housekeeping, please, Michelle?
Please note that this meeting of the Licensing Subcommittee is being recorded by the Council for live broadcast and will be published on the Council website for a minimum of 6 months. In order to ensure the meeting is managed effectively, please could everyone present follow these ground rules for speaking. Only speak when invited to by the Chair. State your name before you speak if you have not been introduced by name. If joining remotely, please ensure that you unmute yourself and always turn on the video function before speaking. Mute your microphone when you are not talking. After each party has spoken, the Chair will ask each person in turn if they have any questions or comments. However, if at any point you would like to speak again, please use the raise your hand function at the top right of the screen. For those in the room, please note that if the fire alarm sounds, which it will do because we have a test any second now, and this is a test, so we don't need to leave. But if the real one goes off, we need to exit by the building by way of the nearest assembly signs, fire exit route, and make your way to the assembly point along Brady Road underneath the flyover. Finally, if joining remotely, please ensure background noise is kept to a minimum, and can everyone ensure that mobile phones and other devices are turned off or switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 5 on the agenda is an application for a premises licence at Seaside Mini Market. An application has been received for a new premises licence for the premises known as Seaside Mini Market, 18 Westover Road, Bournemouth. This matter is brought before the Licensing Subcommittee for determination. I would now ask each participant to introduce themselves and state their role. As I said, my name is Councillor Kelsey. I represent Eastcliff and Springbourne Ward, and I am the chair of this particular subcommittee. Councillor Richard Burton, please.
Hello, I'm Councillor Richard Burton. I'm a member of this committee. I represent the Bearwood and Merley Ward.
Thank you. And Councillor Julie Bagwell, please.
Good morning. I'm Councillor Judy Bagwell. I'm a member of the Licensing Committee and I'm the Councillor for Helmworthy Ward.
Thank you. We also have with us Councillor Toby Johnson, who is our reserve member. I would like to thank him for coming in at such short notice this morning. You are free to leave if you wish, or you can stay. Thank you very much, Councillor Johnson. Could other people... I will just break while we have this god-awful sound.
My video on. Off the camera, no? Cameras are on. Turn the camera off. Yeah. What's going on?
Apologies for that. So moving on, we also have Tanya Jardine.
Tanya's the licensing officer and who dealt with the application.
Thank you. Tom Hollington.
Hi there, my name is Tom Hollington. I'm representing the applicants.
Thank you. Eleanor Kadir.
Yes, I'm here. I'm Eleanor Kadir, the applicant.
Thank you. And do we have Louise Busfield and Sergeant Gosling, Dorset Police?
Good morning, Louise Busfield, Dorset Police Licensing Officer, in Gareth's absence.
Thank you, Louise. Catherine Gosney.
Yes, I'm here representing Roberta Boutique.
Thank you. And Linda Cole.
Good morning, it's Linda Cole, the legal advisor.
And we also have Michelle Cutler, who is the clerk to the subcommittee.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Cutler and I'm your clerk for today. Thank you.
We also have other Democratic Services officers who are providing technical support for the meeting, but will take no part in the actual hearing. Please may I check that all persons who have given notice of their intention to speak have been identified, and any person who wishes to withdraw a representation or wishes not to speak has been identified. No comments from anyone, so I'll take that as so. If there are no comments, I will take this as correct. I will now explain the proposed procedure and order of speaking for the hearing. The licensing officer will present her case. Applicant will make their application. Questions of the applicant by all parties. Member of the committee, subcommittee will go first. Responsible authorities and other persons will make their representations. Questions of the responsible authorities and other persons. Members of the committee, subcommittee will go first. All parties will be given an opportunity to sum up, with the party who spoke last to speak first. The hearing will then conclude. The subcommittee will deliberate in private with legal advisor and clerk present. Notification of the subcommittee's decision will be given within the period of 5 working days, beginning with the day of the last day of which the hearing was held, in accordance with the regulations. The notification of decision will include information about the right of appeal as appropriate. I will now ask all parties to confirm agreement of the proposed procedure. Mr. Hollington.
Yes. Sorry, I couldn't hear you there, Councillor Kelsey. Can you just repeat that, please?
Yeah, it was just about the running order for the hearing.
Yes.
Are you happy with that?
Yes, sorry, yes, I am, yeah.
Thank you. Eleanor Kadir?
Yes, I'm happy.
Louise?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
And Ms. Guzny?
Yes.
Thank you. And Linda Cole?
Yes, Chair, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tanya Jardine?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I will now ask the licensing officer to present her first report on item 5A, please. Over to you, Tanya.
Thank you. So the application before you today is to consider whether to grant a new premises licence at 18 Westover Road, Bournemouth. Members will note that all documentation refers to the name of the premises as Seaside Mini Market. However, the applicant has informed the licensing office that there has been a change and it shall now be known as Seafront Mini Market. The applicant proposes to operate as a convenience shop and applied for a new premises licence to permit the off-sale supply of alcohol Monday to Sunday, 0800 to 0300 hours. The licensing office received 11 representations against the application. This is from local residents and business owners, and this was on the grounds that the application would undermine the 4 licensing objectives. In addition, Dorset Police have also made representation against the application, and this was on the grounds that the area where the premises is located already experiences a disproportionate amount of street drinkers, antisocial behaviour and crime and disorder, which already negatively impacts the local community and contributes to an increase in the demand for police resources. Dorset Police explained that they did not have the confidence that the licensing objectives of prevention of crime and disorder and public safety would be upheld. We received no other representations from any of the other responsible authorities. As part of the consultation and in an attempt to mediate conditions and address Dorset Police's concerns, the applicant proposed to amend the application to reduce the operating hours to 0100 hours to employ SIA security from 1100 hours until close on a Friday and Saturday and Sundays preceding a bank holiday Monday, and to limit canned drinks to 5% ABV and spirits to 40% ABV. But no agreement has been confirmed by Dorset Police and their representation still stands. Members are asked to consider whether to grant this application, and should the licence be granted and the applicants fail to operate in accordance with their licence and any conditions attached to it, they will be aware that any responsible authority or other persons may request a review of the licence at any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jardine. Do members have any questions for the licensing officer? Councillor Bagwell.
No, thank you. Not at this time.
Councillor Burton.
No, thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Jardine. In that case, it is over to Mr. Hollington to present his case for the applicant, please.
Hi, my name is Tom Hollington, representing the applicant in this application. I just wanted to clarify that we've tried to deal with the police concerns and the local resident concerns by way of representations made to the police. My clients are experienced operators in the Bournemouth area. They have another off license on Old Christchurch Road, which they've operated for some years now, and they have had zero adverse contact with the police in any way, shape, or form. They also operate off licenses in London in more challenging social areas, and they have had no adverse matters there either. We believe that there's other licensed premises in the area operating on similar restrictions and similar conditions to what we're offering now, namely Tesco's in the town centre. There's other off licenses dotted around Bournemouth town centre, and we're hoping to operate under the same conditions with our experience, and don't feel that what we're doing is going to exacerbate the ongoing problems in the gardens. We believe the problems in the gardens are related to drugs. We have a zero tolerance on any drugs. We have strict policies on how we operate in terms of selling alcohol to underage and the vapes and the cigarettes. These have all been demonstrated by the operating of the other premises that the applicants operate. We believe we can bring life and vibrancy to Westover Road, which is currently suffering from somewhere in the region of 60% of the businesses are closed, and vacant businesses offer the police other challenges in terms of squatters and antisocial behaviour. People congregate and rough sleep in the doorways and that kind of thing. So we're aware that there's been an objection from BID, Bournemouth Town Centre BID. Obviously, we're trying to bring vibrancy in and open up empty shops in the area. So we feel as though we're adding to the tourism and the service to the local residents. Is there anything else you wanted me to say?
Oh, good point.
So I think that's where we are. I mean, we're trying to work with the police. We're trying to work with local residents. We want to be a keen and active member of the community of Westover Road. I think that's kind of what I wanted to say, Councillor Kelsey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hollington. Mr. Hollington, I have a quick question for you myself, and that is, you just said that you wish to be, your conditions are similar to Tesco's. Tesco's is only open till 11 o'clock. You're asking to open till 1 o'clock.
Yes, but as we discussed with the police, we're happy to work with some reduced hours. The conversation with the police sort of tailed off, but we're happy to work with the police and have restricted hours. We just want to get open and trading and get the business moving, and we can move from there, wherever the police deem fit.
Thank you. I'm going to ask other members of the panel now if they have any questions for you. Members. Yeah, Councillor Bagwell.
Not at the moment, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Burton.
Just following on with what you was asking, Chair, I was just having a quick look at opening times of licences in the area. Just do you know of any licences locally that do open to that past 11 o'clock at night?
Mr. Hollington, are you aware of other off licences that open till past 11 o'clock?
There's some up on Old Christchurch Road, with the one which is in walking distance of where we are now. I don't know if that's deemed close enough.
And that's open till when?
That's open till 3 o'clock. And the operators of this site now, Elena and her husband, operate that one as well.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Busfield, do you have any questions of the applicant at this time?
Sorry, Mr. Casey. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go on, Mr. Hollington.
There's another shop up the road, Elena's just advising me, called the Family Shopper, that's open till 3 o'clock in the morning as well.
Thank you.
And that's reasonably close, isn't it? I don't know where the Family Shopper is.
Okay, thank you.
It's opposite on the Christchurch Road as well. Sorry.
Could I ask that you actually put your camera on, because it's affecting our screen here at the moment? So
I've got the camera on my computer. I don't know why it's not on, but I've turned it on this. I don't know what I've done wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Sorry about that. I don't know what I've done wrong. It says it on mine. I know it's not working. Sorry.
Okay. Ms. Busfield, do you have any questions of the applicant at this time?
No, I don't. Thank you, Councillor Kelsey.
Okay, thank you. Could I now ask the objectors if they would like to speak, please? Ms Goodson?
Do you mean Mrs. Gosney? Do you mean me?
Sorry, I do. Sorry.
Yes, please. I'd like to make two brief points, if I may.
You may.
First is about the environment of Westover Road itself. And the second point I'd like to make is about how uniquely vulnerable our premises are directly next door because of the shape of our building. So Westover Road in July and August is fine. It's busy, it's full of tourists who are staying in the hotels, and it's bustling, and the antisocial problems that we deal with on a regular basis largely go away. From September to May, it's extremely difficult. Bournemouth is a very wet, windy and hilly town. And the town centre is largely inaccessible for various reasons. And the general public have all but disappeared. I mean, the footfall is gone. You can't access the town easily by bike or foot when it's wet, windy and hilly. The train centre is outside of the town centre, so that doesn't bring people in. The buses are unreliable or take too long, so they don't bring enough people in. And then the car parking is too expensive, so it's a deterrent. But also the car parking facilities are dominated by large, dark and dangerous multi-storey car parks. So the general public and local residents generally do not visit Bournemouth town centre anymore. So outside of those summer months, the area is empty. The footfall is very, very low. And it's not a coincidence that the businesses that are surviving in Westover Road are catering to the luxury market, because we don't need many customers a week to survive. Whereas the Marks and Spencers, the Wilko, the Lidls, all those companies that have gone, they need the general public. I mean, we'd like the general public back too, but they have gone. And the effect of that on the environment in Westover Road in the wet and cold months of the year, September to March, April, means that the environment feels very dangerous. My staff don't feel safe, my customers don't feel safe. The area is dominated by the local residents, of which there aren't many, but the local residents are predominantly from the hostels. And these are people with severe alcohol problems, severe drug problems. We have antisocial problems outside our store. Most weeks I can document just the problems I've had in the last 7 days, if that would help the council make a decision. So that's the environment of Westover Road. Now, what's unique about our store in the road is that on one side we have the cutway that leads to the derelict buildings. We have substantial problems from that area because it provides shelter. So for the vulnerable, the addicts, the homeless, all the people that aren't being helped or need help when they are wanting to drink or use drugs, they go right next to our building there. Every day we smell drugs, we see drugs paraphernalia, we see alcohol problems. Every morning we have to clear them from our store. Now, on the other side of our store, the gentleman was saying earlier about not having people in doorways. Almost every other store in Westover Road has shutters to prevent people sleeping outside the shops and deterring businesses and job losses and things like that. We can't do that for our store because our entrance is in an overhang, which is the entrance to the flats. So our premises are vulnerable on the left and they're vulnerable in the right, and we can't put shutters up. So most mornings, especially in the winter months, my female team have to call the police, call the rangers. We don't always, I mean, some of the homeless people look after us actually, but it can be quite an intimidating environment at times, especially if people are intoxicated, which they often are. We've had food fights outside our store in the morning from alcoholism. We've had indecent exposure. I had a member of my team, a lady who was 62, pushed up against the glass like this with the hands around her. It was a very, very frightening experience for her. And she wasn't harmed, thankfully, but that is the sort of volatile behaviour that we're dealing with. And we can't put shutters down. The overhang stays there. So when somebody is intoxicated, when somebody does want to urinate, they go in our overhang outside our door. And of course, we're a luxury ladies boutique run by ladies. All of our customers are predominantly ladies, and we're uniquely vulnerable because we don't have any men working for us and we don't have any bodyguards. We tend to get bothered more. I'm sure if any of you know Westover Road and you see the bodyguards on the doors, you don't mess with them. But if people are bored or agitated and they want to get attention, they tend to target our store. Finally, the other thing that makes our store particularly vulnerable to a late night license is that we have full height glass walls on 3 different aspects. So I can't put shutters down. So all of the jewellers and all of the other stores in Westover have shutters over their glass, but our walls are made of glass and there's no way we could even install shutters even if we wanted to. And we've already had a pane of glass broken in the last 12 months from our antisocial drunken behaviour late night in the morning. So I think I could go on for some time, but if anybody would like to ask me questions, I'm very open.
Sorry, do you have any questions that you would like to ask the applicant?
We are glad that you're there, but selling alcohol is not a good idea because the market you will be selling alcohol to is the people that probably shouldn't have access to alcohol in the street. There isn't anybody else around. There's no footfall between September and March, largely.
Okay, thank you. Members, any member questions for the objectors?
No, thanks. Yeah,
No.
Councillor
Burton.
Okay. Can I just ask what's happening in this particular shop now? Is the shop open? Is it open business?
Mr. Hollington?
Yes, we're in the shop now. I could hardly hear you. My laptop's not very good, the sound, but we're in the shop now. The shop's open and trading, but obviously not selling any alcohol.
Thank you very much.
I'm here
Right.
with the applicants as well.
Okay, thank you. Now over to Louise Busfield from Dorset Police.
Thank you, Councillor Kelsey. So I'm representing Dorset Police in the absence of my colleague Vanessa Rosales, who was originally responsible for managing this premises licence application, as her territory, her patch, if you like, is central Bournemouth. So as I say, in her absence, I'm fully briefed with the what happened during the consultation period, and there was a lot of toing and froing between the applicant and Dorset Police. My colleague Vanessa did consider all conditions offered by the applicants by Mr. Hollington, and with each offer, Vanessa consulted extensively with our senior commanders, because of all the reasons previously mentioned. This is a hotspot area, and it's a very, very sensitive area also. So due to the sensitivity of the location, and a population, both businesses and residents, who already suffer from, disproportionate level of alcohol related crime and disorder, there weren't any conditions that could be offered, or that were offered, that could satisfy Dorset Police that the licensing objectives would be promoted. Hence the reason for the need to maintain the objection. I wouldn't say that dialogue tailed off between Dorset Police and the applicant. We did submit the objection, after which there was some attempt by the applicant's representative to continue engaging in dialogue. But the objection, we made it perfectly clear that the objection still stood because of the aforementioned reasons. You will have had sight in your hearing pack of the document, the Dorset Police, that we have submitted on behalf of our representation, called Supplementary Information in Support of the Representation, which is an extremely comprehensive document, which details all of the concerns of Dorset Police. So unless you wish, I mean, I don't intend to reiterate what is in this 3-page document. But I would also ask members to pay particular consideration to the witness statement from the Bournemouth Safer Neighbourhood sergeant, whose responsibility is this particular area of Bournemouth. I can just, well, I hope that you all have had sight of this. I know we only submitted it on Monday, so I apologise for the short notice. But this first-hand report paints such a real vivid picture of the daily ongoing concerns in this area, both concerns from a policing perspective and a residents and business perspective. And all the issues that he speaks about in this document, in his statement, would simply be perpetuated, exacerbated, and compounded if this subcommittee saw fit to grant this premises license. So on behalf of Dorset Police, all I can say is that we have real, very serious concerns that we haven't been able to consider any conditions that might give us the assurances that we would be seeking in this particular location. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Louise. Much appreciated. I'll go to members first to see if they have any questions of you. Councillor Bagwell?
No, that was really good. So,
Thank you. Councillor Byrne?
No questions, thank you, and just assure you that we have seen the document.
Yeah, we have all received that. Everyone here today will have read all the documents that have been put in front of us, so thank you for that. If I could come back to Mr. Hollington, there's a couple of questions just sort of like hanging on my mind at the moment.
Okay.
You would have seen the documents that were submitted by Dorset Police, particularly those relating to the rough sleepers, the drinkers in the area, buying alcohol, taking it into the gardens, etc.
Yeah.
What would be your way of controlling things like proxy sales?
Well, we've offered the police the use of some security on the door here on Friday, Saturday nights and Sunday nights on bank holidays, and we've got extra.
Can I just interrupt you there? Sorry. When you say you've offered that, is that solely for bank holiday weekends?
No, for every Friday, Saturday, and we'd even go further if we had to. But I would like Louise was saying there, the dialogue sort of tailed off with the police, but we've offered security and obviously we've got increased level of staff training, and we've got some professional operators here who've got a lot of experience operating off licenses, and they're aware of the proxy sales and of the tactics that people use to carry them out. Okay, thank you. Any further questions at this moment in time?
no, thank you.
No? No?
No,
Thank you. Okay, we don't have any further questions for you at this time, so I'll come back in reverse order and ask Ms. Busfield if you would like to sum up, please.
Thank you, Councillor Kelsey. I've nothing further to add to my original submission. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. And Roberta? Sorry, Catherine?
That's okay. I just want to say about the gardens. A lot of the time, the people are sat under our cutway by our door because, as I mentioned, it's the only place in Westover Road that provides shelter. And it's predominantly where the rough sleepers congregate when the weather's really bad. So we are really worried that an alcohol licence will exacerbate the problems that we have to deal with on a very regular basis.
Thank you. And Mr. Hollington, chance for you to briefly sum up your application, please.
Sure, yeah. In direct response to Roberta's concerns about her plate glass windows, I mean, having door security outside on Friday, Saturday nights up till late at night will improve that, and also improve the vigilance of the area in general. And she also mentioned about selling directly to intoxicated people, and obviously that goes right against any of our licensing objectives. But from an internal management perspective, I mean, we run all the challenge 25-ish schemes and all that kind of bit, and obviously anyone intoxicated can't buy alcohol, and the applicants are fully aware, fully trained on how to operate those things. And then furthermore, in the wider area of Westover Road, I mean, the problems of drugs and related to the hostels up the road, I mean, are they really going to be exacerbated by another professionally well-run off-license, adding vibrancy to the thing? I mean, that's something for the licensing subcommittee to make a decision on. But we feel a professional off-license in this area, operating under the correct conditions, would not exacerbate those concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hollington.
Sorry, Lena wanted to say something. I don't know if it's possible for
Yes,
Lena.
please do.
Yes, I just want to say bad behavior, it comes from the teenagers. It's not just teenagers, they can access alcohol, not in my shop, obviously. and there's more problems than alcohol. There's issues could be at home. There's the cost of living. There's no money in the house. It could be problem with the parents. It could be mental health problems. So it's not just alcohol alone. Alcohol is not really the biggest issue at the moment, as I see. People don't drink that much. People use more drugs than alcohol. What I've seen from the homeless people, they don't come and buy alcohol in my other shop, and they only use drugs. That's from what I saw. So we are professional. We know how to run this business. We've been running for years. I have teenage kids myself, so obviously I would never sell anything to teenagers, not even a lighter or Rizla or anything to do with smoking or drinking. So I am responsible as a parent, as a shopkeeper, so I will keep it that way. And we are very keen to work with the local residents, with the local businesses, and with the local police. So if it's any issue, we will cooperate and do our best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your words there. As you will imagine, that we do have to take all of the representations very, very seriously, particularly those from the police and the local policing team that operate in that area, and also from the objectors. There were quite a few objectors that had written in and put in their representations in. We will retire as a subcommittee and discuss this, and we will take into account all facts that have been put in front of us this morning, and you will be notified of the outcome in due course. Ms. Cole, could I ask you to advise of any rights of appeal to the decisions, please?
Of course, Chair. There will be whatever decision is made by the subcommittee this morning. Details of how to appeal are set out in the decision letter that will be received, and that right of appeal will be to anyone that's made a representation as well as the applicant. Any appeal would have to be made within 21 days of formal notification of the decision.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cole, and thank you for the applicants, and thank you for Catherine for coming along and speaking with us this morning, and also to Louise Busfield from Dorset Police. At this point, I would ask all members not necessary, would they please leave the meeting, please?
Hello, right, just to confirm that that's the end of that item. Mr. Hollington, you may now leave the call, and you will get advised in writing within 5 working days about the outcome of that decision. And Linda, if I can ask you to stay on the call. Oh, actually, no, what we'll do is we'll join on a separate Teams channel to make the decision before moving on to the next item, because the next applicant isn't due until approximately 11:30. Okay, so I'm just going to put the adjourn button on for this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hollington. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
ask each participant to introduce themselves and state their role. Councillor Burton, please.
Good morning. I'm Councillor Richard Burton. I'm a ward member for Bearwood and Merley and a member of this committee.
Thank you. Councillor Bagwell.
Good morning. I'm a member of this licensing committee. I'm a councillor for Hamworthy Ward. Thank you.
Thank you. We did have Councillor Johnson with us as our reserve member, but he has left the meeting as he was not required. Sarah Rogers.
Good morning, Sarah Rogers, Senior Licensing Officer for BCP Council.
Thank you. Joe Cannon.
Good morning. Hope you can all hear me. My name is Joseph, or Joe, but I'll be acting as legal advisor to the committee.
Thank you very much. We have Michelle Cutler, clerk to the subcommittee.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Cutler and I'm your clerk for today. Thank you.
And for the applicant, we have Miss Julia Palmer. Miss Palmer, you're muted. We cannot hear you. Can you hear us, Miss Palmer? No, I'll leave you to try and sort your sound out, Miss Palmer, but I'll go through the others first. We have Miss Alex Ivans, the applicant. I'm afraid we do not appear to be able to hear you, Miss Palmer.
I shall try again. Try now. Okay, try now. Can you hear me now, sir?
I can indeed, Miss Palmer. Welcome to the meeting.
My apologies. I'm afraid IT and I always have arguments, and I lost on this occasion.
Miss Palmer, it's very unlike you to lose anything.
Sir.
Welcome along. And that is all we have. We have Alex Irvins, the applicant, and Mr. Glenn Nissy, who is a consultant to the applicant. And all three of you, I believe, are in the same room.
Absolutely right, so yes.
Thank you very much. So I will run through the procedure rules. May I check that all persons who have given notice of their intention to speak have been identified, and any person who wishes to withdraw a representation or wishes not to speak has also been identified. Are there any discretions on that one? No, thank you very much. I will now explain the proposed procedure and order of speaking for the hearing, and it is as follows. The licensing officer will present the report. Applicant will make their application. Questions of the applicant by all parties, members of the committee, subcommittee to go first. Responsible authorities and other persons will make their representations. And again, questions of the responsible authorities and other persons, members of the committee to go first. All parties will be given an opportunity to sum up, with the party who spoke last could go first. The hearing will then conclude. The subcommittee will deliberate in private with legal advisor and clerk present. Notification of the subcommittee's decision will be given within the period of 5 working days, beginning with the day of the last day of which the hearing was held, in accordance with the regulations. The notification of decision will include information about the right of appeal as appropriate. I will now ask all parties to confirm agreement on the proposed procedure or making representations. Miss Palmer.
Yes, sir, agreed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Miss Rogers?
Yes, that's fine, thank you.
And Mr. Cannon? Thank you very much. Finally, please may I remind all parties speaking not to repeat the information which they have already given in writing, but to expand on their written representations. All questions are to be asked through the chairman, and there will be no cross-examination of any parties. I will now ask the licensing officer, Miss Rogers, to present the report. Thank you, Miss Rogers.
Thank you. This application is made by Hampshire Restaurants Limited for the renewal of the sex and sexual entertainment venue licence to provide relevant entertainment at 134 to 136 Old Christchurch Road for a further 12-month period. The premises have had the benefit of a sexual entertainment venue licence, permitting the live performance of nudity, following the new legislation which came into effect on the 6th of April 2010, which gave more control to local authorities and residents over the operation of these style of premises. The premises have in fact been operating as an adult lap dancing club for over 20 years, the current licence holders operating the premises since 2015. The application made complies with all the relevant legislation, and the necessary site and newspaper notices were published in accordance with that legislation. As a result, 2 objections were received. No objections were received from any of the responsible authorities as are identified under the Licensing Act, who were also consulted. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Rogers. Ms Rogers, before I come to other members, may I just ask you to confirm, in the time of this premises operating, I'm not aware of any, but could you just confirm whether or not there have been any problems associated with this premises?
No problems as such.
Councillor Bagwell, Councillor Burton, do you have any questions of the licensing officer, please?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Not at the moment, thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms Rogers. So, Ms Palmer, it is over to you to present your application, please.
Thank you very much, sir. So I'm not sure if you're getting me on camera or just.
We have you on camera as well. Thank you, Ms Palmer.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but thank you for letting me know. So I represent the applicant company and have represented those operating this venue since it opened in 1998. Throughout this time, there's been considerable financial and personal investment in the club, ensuring that it continues to operate at the highest standards in all respects. This has been evidenced in the club's regular accreditation in the Best Bar None Awards, and what I believe may still be its current holding of the title of Best Club, since the last awards were made pre-COVID in 2018. It's also been evidenced by the fact that no statutory authority nor any local business or resident has objected to any of the renewals of the licenses to enable to operate as a lap dancing venue for the past 23 years, including this year. It has, of course, only been subject to the legislation that requires it to have an SEV license, as Mrs. Rogers explained, since 2012. That legislation properly permits objections to the annual renewals, and you've heard that 2 objections are lodged. It also provides that refusal of an application to renew may only be made on the grounds set out in the Act. You're familiar with those, and as the mandatory grounds are not applicable, the discretionary grounds at paragraph 12, 3D of Schedule 3 of the Act have helpfully been set out at page 53 of the report. In fact, I respectfully submit that there is no evidence to support refusal on any other ground, so I shall limit my address to the grounds set out at subparagraph D. If anyone disagrees with this contention, could you kindly advise me at this juncture so that I may address you on any other issue which you believe may be relevant? Thank you. You will be aware that the applicant has responded to the issues raised by the objectors, and that is in your item 7, the supplementary papers, and I am grateful to all concerned for having read that response. As all parties have the document before them and have had the opportunity to read it, and hearing what you say, sir, about not repeating written representations, whilst relying on it, I shall not rehearse it in full, but I will be most willing to amplify or to answer questions on any aspect of that response. Because your attention is drawn to the discretionary ground for refusal at paragraph D, and that is set out, of course, I will address you more specifically on that. Going through the sub-paragraphs, the first is the character of the locality. As indicated in the response, and specifically pages 8 and 9 of the supplementary papers, the general nature of the locality has not altered since the club opened here, as I said, in 1998. It was then and remains one of the principal locations of the town's nighttime economy. The second subparagraph is the use of the premises in the vicinity. There are no major alterations in the use of the premises in the vicinity since the last renewal in October 2021. Of course, there will inevitably be some changes in both retail and licensed premises, but there is no evidence of any material change in this vicinity. The Livingston Academy is raised, but I would respectfully submit that its siting in Madeira Road and the hours of its operation do not materially affect this vicinity. Finally, we have subparagraph 3, the layout, character or condition of the premises. The applicant has dealt with this issue at some length, and you'll find that at page 5 to the top of page 8 of your supplemental papers. We trust that all concerned will agree, and I was going to say the proposed new frontage, but I'm told today that it is done and it looks extremely smart. So this new frontage and signage not only complies with the letter of the new standard conditions, but I would respectfully suggest that it goes a step further in complying with the spirit of your policy. The subdued and inoffensive frontage is evidence of the establishment's ethos and will promote the appearance of its immediate environment. The photos have unfortunately not come out particularly well, but it's confirmed that the colouring is a mixture of grey, dark grey and pale grey on the fascia with white lettering. No logos or details of website or social media or social media links. FYO continues to operate as it has for decades without issues and with its long-term and strong team in charge. It is a trouble-free and safe venue which, in its Best Bar None Awards, demonstrates its value to the nighttime economy of the town. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms Palmer. Members, does anyone have any questions for Ms Palmer at this time?
No, not really. Okay.
No, thank you, Chair, not at this time.
Thank you very much. Ms Palmer, thank you very much for your submission. As usual, it is very thorough and detailed throughout, and we have come to expect no less from you over these years of you applying on behalf of this premises. May I just ask you regarding some of the comments that were made in the objection letter that have come in, and I would wonder if you would like to make any comments relating to that. There is one about another property and card payments, although this does not obviously reflect to this particular property, but it is part of the same company. And then there's obviously questions about the state of the building. As you have already stated, I just wish you to clarify this, that the company have taken it upon themselves to do a lot of the work to the outside of the building and to enhance the facilities around there to make it better for the public and for those living there. Can you confirm that this has all been done or is in the process of being done, please?
Yes, sir, indeed. As we indicated in the response, the delay in doing it was not as a fault of the clubs. They wanted it done just as much as others wanted it done because they didn't enjoy the appearance either. But the circumstances were such that it was going to be literally throwing good money after bad if they tried to repair it whilst the leaks from the upstairs property over which they had no control continued. Matters have been pressed and as I say, the scaffolding went up as I understand it, and the work was completed extremely quickly and has now been done. It's actually been done now. So that Does that satisfy you with regard to the state of the property, sir?
Absolutely perfectly. Thank you, Ms. Palmer.
And so the other question you asked was that about the Southampton Club?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So as again, I think we've dealt with in the response, and that's at page 4. There were a couple of issues, or there was one issue at the Southampton Club that has been resolved, and that was some 3 years ago, as I understand it. And I also understand that since that time on the renewals, the club has actually been praised for the way in which it is operating.
Thank you, Ms. Palmer. And I'm just running through, sorry for this type of questioning to you, but as the objector is not here, I'm running through some of the points they have made in their objection.
Of course,
they make a point on the unsuitability of the operator for reasons of their advertising, both on Facebook, etc. Could you just clarify those points that you wish us to know about for that, please?
Yes, sir. The Facebook material that presumably the objector was referring to is not offensive. I viewed it. It is it's what I call advertising material. So it's not even the girls dancing. It's promotional material. They are not acting or in an inappropriate manner. They're not posing in an inappropriate manner, and they're clothed. So with the greatest respect to the objector, I disagree that there is anything offensive in the social media material that I've seen.
Thank you. And another point raised by the representation is, could the licensing committee please consider adding a condition to the already complicated standards conditions approval by full council? Please add a condition that there be no touching rule. If the no touching rule is broken by intentional touching by either performer or customer, that the CCTV recording, this is made available as quickly as possible to the police. Now, I would have thought that all CCTV is available to the police at any time of asking and should be kept as a standard in my previous experience for 31 days. Could you please concur that that is, or sorry, confirm that that is still the case within these premises?
It is indeed, sir, and it is your standard condition. If this license is granted, it will be granted, as I understand it, subject to the new standard conditions, and that is one of those conditions. And to impose anything further on the applicant would be unduly onerous, and I would also question the enforceability of any such condition of that nature.
Thank you very much, Ms. Palmer. I do appreciate your taking the time to answer those questions on behalf of the objector's letter. It's very kind of you to do so, and we thank you for your help on that. I'll just go back to members of the committee to see if they have any further questions for you. Any further questions or clarification or any points, members?
Not from me, thank you, Chair.
Don't need for me, Chair.
Thank you very much. In that case, I will go to nobody. There is no other persons, no other representations that are needed to be heard on this. Mr. Cannon, is there anything that you would like to ask or say on this?
No, only just to confirm that, is it right that both of the objectors are not present? I know that objector number 1 is not present and indicated that. I didn't get warning that objector number 2 wasn't here either, although it was implicit, Chair, in your introductions at the beginning that Councillor Northover wasn't here either. But
there are no other objectors within the hearing, Mr. Cannon. Thank you.
Yeah. So no. So if you and your colleagues have asked sufficient questions to satisfy yourself that you've got all the information, then I don't need to ask anything further.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cannon. Much appreciated. So therefore, Ms. Palmer, I will come back to you if you wish to briefly sum up your application, please.
Thank you very much, sir. So as you will be aware, your policy at paragraph 10.4 is that the license for this site as one of the 3 existing SEV licenses in this area will continue to be renewed if there is no material change in the character of the area. And material, when I look it up in Chambers, I know that's only one dictionary, is of serious importance. So it's a fairly high bar. We respectfully submit that there is no evidence to show any such material change. As you will see from paragraph 6 of the report on page 55, there have been no complaints about the operation of this highly respected and long-standing club or other material changes. Neither have there been objections to this renewal from responsible authorities or those living or working in the vicinity. Once again, I must say with respect that there are no justifiable reasons on the evidence before you to refuse this renewal. To the contrary, I would submit that the evidence supports a renewal on the same terms and with the new standard conditions. And it is that, sir, that the applicant please seeks.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Palmer. Mrs. Rogers, do you have anything that you wish to sum up, please?
No, I don't. Thank you very much.
Thank you. In that case, members, we will call this meeting to an end. Mr. Cannon, would you like to present Miss Palmer with her rights of appeal, please? I'm sure she knows them better than we do, but for legality reasons, we must do this.
I can do, but there are no rights of appeal against these decisions, and any challenge would have to be brought by way of judicial review.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cannon, much appreciated. I will now conclude this meeting, and the subcommittee will now deliberate in private whilst we make our decision, and the notice will come to you within 5 working days. And I thank you all for your time this morning, and thank you very much, Ms. Palmer, for appearing.
Thank you, sir, and your committee members. Thank you.
Thank you very much.